Welcome to Kinstretch with Eric. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to go over controlled articular rotations. We're going to dive into your spine health, and we're going to target a little bit of hips in this video as well. So the purpose of this is just to give you a sample of what some of my Kinstretch classes are about. I'm also going to give you a variety of angles that we're also going to work with. So let's get right to it. All right. So the first thing that we're going to start off with is we're going to start with controlled articular rotations for your neck, your cervical neck. Okay. So again, what you're going to hear me say is I'm going to tell you to kind of tense up your body. So kind of grip the ground with your toes, right? Tighten up your quads, tighten up your fists, arms, everything like that. We basically want no other joints moving except our neck. Okay. So first thing you're going to do, from this position, right, you're still squeezing, your body's tense. You're going to tuck that chin in to your chest, right? You're going to slide your chin up towards the right, okay? Again, slow and controlled. Once you get as far as you can go, rotating to the right, think about your ear trying to touch your trap or your shoulder, okay? Now, from this position, you should feel a stretch on that left side of that neck, okay? Now, you're going to rotate backwards. Again, try not to move the rest of your body. Think about the back of your head hitting your traps. All right, rotate all the way through, slow and controlled. Again, ear trying to touch your shoulder. Chin comes tucked into the upper part of that collarbone area, and then you're going to slide it back down. All right, so again, let's do that. We'll do one more on each side, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go to the left side. All right. So again, chin tucked, rotate it, slide it up your chest, up towards your collarbone, ear to your shoulder, back of your head is rolling on your traps all the way through, and then all the way down. Perfect. All right. So the next one we're going to go through now is going to be your thoracic rotations. So with thoracic rotations, again, same concept. We're going to try to keep the lower half of our body locked in. Okay? So as you can see, I don't want your hips swaying or anything like that. We're trying to keep these hips locked in, and we're trying to rotate this upper part of your back. All right? So what you're going to do is you're going to put one hand on your upper chest, so your right hand on your left pec, your left hand on your right pec, okay? Now from this position, you're going to tuck your chin, okay? Now your abs are tight, okay? Now think about this as like a standing crunch. Your abs are pulling you in. Abs are pulling you in and down, okay? Once you feel like you can't go anymore, that's where you want to be. So we have a slight round in our upper back. Now from this position, I'm going to rotate to the left. But again, my hips are staying straight, okay? So rotate, rotate, rotate. Hips and toes are pointed forward. I rotate till I can't rotate anymore. Now from this position, once I reach that endpoint rotation, again, I'm going to think about something's on your shoulder and you're like trying to shake it off almost. All right, so you're going to come here, and then you're going to open up your chest, up and around, open up your chest, and rotate back. Good. Okay? Same thing, other way. Rotate to the right, rotate to the right. Hips stay straight, right? So you're using your muscles to maintain your hips straight, okay? Because if I were to just let it go, my whole body would turn. We don't want that, okay? So again, rotate to the right. Now I'm think about tilting my left shoulder up towards the ceiling, and then opening up my chest towards the ceiling, and then rotating back. Perfect. Okay. So the next part, all right, we're going to dive right into our hip cars. So again, use something to help you balance. Again, this is not a balance exercise. The focus of this exercise is we're going to create rotation in our hips. All right. So again, let's start off. You're going to start off with the right leg. So the left leg is nice and strong. You have a slight bend in it. Take that right leg, pass it over your left leg, right? Almost like you're some type of ballerina, all right? Now, slide that leg up as far as you can go. Slide it up, slide it up, slide it up, okay? Once you reach this position, again, our hips are going to stay pointing forward. I like to keep my right hand on my left hip just to kind of give me a cue as to, so I'm not rotating, all right? So again, you're holding here, keep the hip straight, and then you're going to try to open up as far as you can without rotating. Once you reach that end point, you're going to feel a little cramp or it's going to start to burn here. Think about bringing your ankle up towards the ceiling as your knee rotates down and in towards that left knee. Okay? So now on the way back, we're going to go the same way that we came back. So again, kick, donkey kick, right? You should feel your glute firing, right? Your glute is firing. Hip extension. Once you feel like you can't go anymore, right? I don't want you arching your back here. So again, stay nice and tall. Once you feel like you can't go, you're going to down soccer kick almost down. And that knee is coming up. And then you're rotating it back towards that starting position. Perfect. Okay. One more other side. Nice and tall. Slight bend in the right leg. Left leg crosses over that right leg. Slide it all the way up. All right. Keep that position. So try to maintain this height the best that you can. So again, I'm using my left arm now as a stabilizer. I'm going to use my right hand to just make sure that my hips stay where they're at. So again, we're going to rotate, 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 or open up, open up, open up till I can't anymore. Hips are still facing forward, right? Ankle dives up towards the ceiling, knee dives down towards the back knee. Okay, now come back up, donkey kick, soccer kick, and forward. Okay, perfect. So we would do 2 sets or 2 reps on each side of those to warm up. All right, now from here, now what we're going to do, if you need a break, you need to shake it out, however you want, pause it, whatever you like to do. We're going to go into a squat. So with the squat position here, all right, feet underneath, knees underneath your hips, so we're aligned here, okay? So as you can see. Now, one of the things you're going to hear me say a lot is I'm going to say PAILs and rails, okay? PAIL stands for progressive angular isometric loading. Rail stands for regressive angular isometric loading. All right, it'll make more sense once we get into some of these positions and you can see. So basically it's just a push-pull of different sides of the muscle that we want to contract. That's basically what it is. So we're going to start with 3 reps of the squat. So not your standard squat. I don't want you just going through these. So just pay attention here. So the first thing we're going to do, right, you're neutral, right? So I don't want your butt arched all the way up. I don't want your tail tucked all the way in either, okay? And I'll tuck in my shirt just so you guys can see and understand what I'm trying to do here. Okay, now from this position, what we want to think about, we're going to do this squat very slow. Think about all this muscle tissue in the front part of your body is literally pulling you down, okay? So I want to contract. So almost everything is pushing me down. Like all my quads are pushing me down. All right, now from this position, I'm going slow. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? Now I'm going to push with the opposite. So push your feet into the ground nice and slow on the way back. Again, slow and controlled. Now some of you, if you have any difficulty with the squat, so again, for me, I can go down into a squat and keep a pretty good form. If you can't do that, that's perfectly okay. What I want you to do is I want you to go to where you feel comfortable. So again, if you can only go here, without your back arching, then that's where you go. We will get better at that as we move on with time. All right, so let's try it again. I'll show you this angle. So again, your butt is not arched. Your butt's not tucked in all the way. You find that happy medium. So you're kind of right in between. You're in neutral. So again, body's nice and tight. Quads, hip flexors, abs, right? It's basically pushing. Think about somebody pushing your hips down and back, okay? Slow. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once you find that area of no return, you're going to, again, push the ground away. Now the back, your glutes and everything else are pushing. Push, 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 push. Perfect. All right, let's do one more. So again, regular squat. Again, all this muscle tissue in the front, pulling you in. Your hip flexors are dragging, you're pushing your hips back. All right, it's squeezing, the space is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. All right, you're going. 3, 2, 1, push up. Perfect. All right, so those were our squats. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into a 90-90 position. So again, what that refers to is the position of our legs, okay? So again, I'll try to give you a few different angles. So from this position, all right, that front leg is in a 90-degree angle, okay? Now, if this is too difficult for you, okay, we can use a yoga block, okay? And you could kind of place that under that left knee. That's going to kind of take away some of that added lack of mobility that you may have. Because a lot of you may start off and you'll be here, which is not necessarily what we want. But again, this is just for you. This is just an eye-opener class to show you what things that you could work on to get your hip mobility better too. All right, so 90-90 position. Front leg is 90-degree angle. Back leg is 90-degree angle. Now from this position, what I would like you to do is I want you to lift your butt off the ground and almost think about sticking your butt out, right? Keep that position while it's out and then sit down with it in that out position, right? Okay, nice and tall. All right, so now I want you to kind of, again, move your body around. You could move forward a little bit, and I want you to find that stretch. We're looking for a stretch in that back part of your left glute. So I have my left leg forward. We're looking for a stretch in that left glute. You may even feel a little sensation in that front hammy. Some people may even feel a stretch in this position or cramping in the right groin or even the right glute area, which is okay. Again, we're just kind of noticing and making our body aware of what's going on. Okay, now from this position, what we're going to do now is going to be called the kinetic stretch. So part of it, right, we're in that lock position, we're nice and tall, all right? Our body's locked in, right? I'm not hunched over, anything like that. We're staying tall, everything is engaged. So from this position, you're going to use your hands as just a guide, okay? Now think about this inside part of your leg. All this muscle tissue is trying to pull you closer. It's trying to squeeze the gap between your chest and your knee, okay? So you're squeezing, it's pulling you in, all the while maintaining that straight back as best that you can. Keep going, all right? Now, once you get to that point where you feel like a really intense, you're starting to stretch big time, so now you're going to push away with the opposite side of the muscle tissue that we just worked, right? So that inside part of that leg pulled you in, the back side pushes you out, okay? So let's try a couple reps. So again, use your hands if need be. If not, keep your hands here. This is a little bit harder progression of it. All right, so let's start here. So pulling in, pull in, pull in, push back out, okay? Again, use your hands if need be. Again, pull in, push out, push, 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 push. All right. If you're catching a cramp like I am right now, it's okay to lean up out of it for a second or two. All right. And I've been doing these for a while and I still catch cramps. So do not feel bad if you catch cramps. It's just something that, you know, we're exposing the body to. And it could depend on a multitude of things of, you know, dehydration, if you're dehydrated, if you're just tight from a workout previously, so on and so forth. All right, so let's try one more here. All right, so again, we're going to pull in, pull in, pull in, right? Inside muscle tissues, pulling, 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 pulling. All right, as soon as you get to that point of no return, push back out, push back out, push back out. All right. All right. So try to keep that. I know it's tough. You want to get out of this position, but we still want to prolong stretch in this position. All right. Next we're going to go through is in the same position is going to be pails and rails. So the pails portion, again, think about as pushing. So the P is for pushing, right? Rails is regressing. You're trying to pull back towards you or pull the opposite way of the pails portion. So with the in 90-90, I want you to pretend like you have a scale, all right, underneath your ankle, and you're looking at it. And when I say begin, we're going to start to build up pressure, all right, or the power output that you're pushing through. So if I were to remove my foot, this is the motion that we want. But we're not going to be able to do that because the ground is going to be stopping us. So let's begin, right? Pails. So I want 10% power pushing into the ground. All right? 20% power, 30% power, 40% power, 50% power, 60% power, 70% power, safest and greatest effort. Push, 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 push. Locking up the upper body, keep pushing, and then we're going to do rails in 3, 2, 1, and that means we're just trying to lift that ankle and make it light as possible. Lift, 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 lift. You shouldn't be able to lift your ankle, but you're still trying. Push, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing in 3, 2, 1. Okay, relax, but don't just get all flaccid. I want you to reach a little bit forward. Okay, reach a little forward. Find a deeper stretch here. Okay. So we're going to switch over to the back leg now, okay? Typically we would do probably 2 or 3 sets of that pails and rails portion of it, and then we could progress it even further with other types of exercises or movements that we have within the FRC and Kinstretch system. Okay, so now we're going to look back, right? So again, I'm using my hands almost as kickstands, okay, because I'm trying to keep that my spine nice and tall. All right, we're going to look back. So think about turning your chest, right, your sternum, right, forward and looking back at those at your toes. So now we're going to do the same concept with the back leg. So the front leg, we pushed that out. Now we're going to push in with the leg, okay? But you're not going to be able to because the floor is going to stop us, okay? So this is just an isometric way of creating joint space within our hips, okay? So now you found that stretch. We've already stretched because we were in that first position. So now what we're going to do is you're going to push that ankle down. So using your hands as kickstands, right? You're going to push down with your ankle the same way that we did before. So that 10% all the way up to 70 until I say safest and greatest. And then once I hit safest and greatest, I'll count down. And then you will try, once I say rails, you will try to lift your ankle or make your ankle as light as possible, okay? I'm catching a cramp too, so I have to come up out of it for 1 second. Okay, so we're right back to it. So let's get that position. Kickstand the hands, chest up, turning back. All right, 10% power pushing in through the inside ankle bone. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Safest and greatest efforts. Push, 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 push. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Rails in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to make that ankle as light as possible, light as possible, light, light, light. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Light, and relax. Twist a little more now. Twist a little more. All right. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to shift out of this. So now what I would like for you to do is not to just come out of it. So let's pretend that your left leg is glued to the ground, okay? It's glued, you can't move it. Now, use your hands as kickstand. You're going to open up that right leg. Open up, open up. Remember, that leg is glued to the ground, right? Now, once you find that position where you can't move anymore, that's where you're going to start to lift that leg up. But the space here should remain the same. The space here should remain the same as you transition over. As you transition over, as you transition over into your 90-90 on the other side. Okay, so let's get our position here. We'll go through our 90-90 on this side. Okay, front leg is here. Remember, if you need any type of aid to kind of help boost you up or get in that position where you're standing nice and tall, we kind of want to avoid this slouching area because it's going to take slack off of that front leg, which is the leg that we're trying to target here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's do 5 kinetic stretches here. So we're going to, again, inside muscle tissues pulling us in, pull, 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 pull. Opposite tissue is pushing us back into our starting position. That's 1. Pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in, push out, push out, push out, push out. It's 2. Push in, push in, push in, push in, push out, push out, push out. 2 more, I think. Push in, push in, push in, push out. Remember, use your hands at first, so we don't expect you to do this and be a superstar at it. Again, we're exposing your body to different positions that they're probably not used to and haven't been in a while. All right, 1 more. Push in, right? Pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. Push out, push out, push out. Okay. All right, let's start the pails. So again, remember, weight underneath, imaginary weight underneath your front ankle. You're pushing it down. Rails, you're going to try to make that ankle as light as possible. So let's begin, right? Arms kickstand nice and tall, locked in, abs are tight, back leg is strong, 10% power pushing into the ankle now. Keep going, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, safest and greatest effort, push, push, push. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Rails in 3, 2, 1. Try to make that ankle as light as possible, light as possible. Ready, go, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, relax, but don't just get flaccid on me. Move forward into that stretch and feel a deeper stretch. There we go. All right. So again, if you're really cramping big time, you could come up out of it, pause the video, do whatever you have to do, and then, restart it, come back to the same position. I'll be adding different modifications and things like that that you can use as well. All right, so we did the front leg. Again, usually we would do another 2 sets, 3 sets, depending on how much comfortability you have with it. Again, how much your muscle tissue is used to this movement. So as you get better at it, you'll be able to dictate how much pressure you can put in and how much freedom of joint space that you have. All right, so let's look back. Now we're going to go to that reverse leg. So again, remember, I'm using my arms behind me as kickstands to maintain nice and tall. All right, same concept now. So we're going to start with the pails right away. We're going to push in with the ankle, rails. Again, make the ankle as light as possible. Okay, so let's begin. So 10% pressure, 20% power output, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, safest and greatest effort. Push, 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 push. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Rails in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make that ankle as light as possible without that knee coming up. You could use that arm. Go, make it light as possible. Go, go, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax, but just turn back into it a little deeper now. A little deeper. Perfect. Little deeper. And stay here for an extended time, okay? All right, so now from this position, the same way that we transitioned, we're going to transition similarly, but we're going to go to the butterfly stretch. Okay, so again, pretend your right leg is glued to the ground. Left leg is going to come up. All right, we're going to peel it away. All right, that right leg is staying glued. All right, once you feel like you can't move this leg out any further, then that's when that leg starts to come up. Okay, now that's going to lead us into our bear sit position. Okay, but from this position, what I want you to do is we're going to come into a butterfly position. So again, if some of you need a block, please use it. So what we don't want, right, is when you're here and we want you like, we don't want this where you're in excessive posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, we kind of want, again, that butt push back, right, so we can really target the groin and the adductors. So many of you may need to use a box or a block of any sort, whatever will raise the surface of the floor for you, just so you can feel the stretch better. Remember, this isn't a race to get to the floor position without any modifications. Use what you have to use to feel the stretch in the places that you need to feel the stretches. Okay, this is not a competition. All right, so now from this position, again, many of you have seen the butterfly position. All right, what we want to do here, all right, we're again sitting up tall, anterior pelvic tilt. So again, think about your butt is pushing back. All right, we're not hunched in like this. It's still not a bad position, but it's not what we're targeting currently. All right, so now we're feeling a stretch here. Well, now what I want you to think about, is your hands are acting as barriers, okay? They're set in stone, right? So you found, right now you're stretching your groin, your adductors, you feel a good stretch. So the pales portion of this is we're going to push into our arms, but our arms aren't going to move with it, okay? Arms are going to stay nice and locked. Okay, we're going to push, same thing, up to 70%, safest and greatest effort. After that, what we're going to do for the rails portion of it is you're going to try to peel your knees away from your arms that aren't going to move. Okay, so again, pales, we're pushing in, so let's try it, right? So let's begin. So arms nice and strong, pushing into your forearms or your hands, whatever creates the most amount of pressure for you, right? So push your knees, inside of your knees are pushing into your hands. So 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. Perfect. Keep pushing. Safest and greatest effort. I'm pushing. Everything's working. My abs are trying to pull in. My groin, everything is pushing, pushing, pushing. Rails in 3, 2, 1. Good. Keep your arms where they're at and peel your knees away. The outside portion of your glutes, the outside portion of your thighs, everything's peeling it away. Peel away, peel away, peel, peel. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And relax, but don't come out of that position. Use your arms and lower them into that newfound range that you just got. Okay, keep it there again. All right, I'm going to use my hands for this one instead now. Okay, so now let's do the pales portion again. Ready? And begin. 10%, 20%, 30% pressure, 40% pressure, 50%, 60%, 70%, safest and greatest effort. Push, 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 push. Rails in 3, 2, 1. Go. Use your legs. Keep your hands where they're at and try to peel your knees away from your hands or forearms. Go. Peel. Peel it away. Push your knees towards the ground. Knees towards the ground. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. Relax, but use your arms and find that new range and hold it again. Take some deep breaths, because this is a deep stretch, man. I'll tell you right now, I feel these even with the block that I'm using. Perfect. Keep it here. I'm going to hold this for another 20 seconds or so. All right. So again, as part of this Kinstretch class, we're keeping it pretty surface level. Again, we're just scratching the surface with this stuff. We could get really involved depending on what your needs are, what your goals are in life, and activities that you're doing, or what type of pain you have, and things of that nature. All right. All right, so we're going to come up out of that. All right, so as you can see, we worked the adductors, we worked the back part of the glutes. All right, so we gave the hips front and back of it. Again, we can keep working different aspects of it, but for this beginner trial class, I just wanted to introduce you to some of the exercises that we do, some of the terminology that I use when I'm going through my classes as well. All right, so before we finish up, we want to add it together. So we did our standing hip cars. Now I want us to do hip cars, but in side lying. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 different angles here. All right, I'll give you the front angle. So again, we're straight as a board. You don't see me with my butt's not sticking back out, anything like that. We're going to start, again, nice and strong. So usually one arm is posted here. I like to keep one arm nice and strong, okay? Everything else is straight. We're going to bring that left leg, right? I'm laying on my right side. We're bringing that left leg as high as possible, okay? We're here without my hips opening up, right? So my hips are staying looking forward, right? My hips are straight. My shoulders are straight, or facing in one direction. We're going to raise up, right? You're going to bring your ankle up towards the ceiling, right? As your knee peels back behind you, and you're going to almost like touch the back of your right leg. Now you're going to come back the same way that you went. So you're going to kick back. You're going to almost soccer kick. All right, come all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, and then back down. That's 1. Up, open, rotate, down and back, touch, go back the same way you came. So you're going to keep it back, right? Donkey kick, your glutes fired up, rotate, and then back down. All right, let's switch sides here. Now, if this hurts your neck or whatever it is, you could always use some type of yoga block. For my jiu-jitsu guys and gals, you should be working your neck strength anyway, so you shouldn't need to use it. But again, if you need to use it, you could use it like this. Okay? All right, other side. Hips pointing forward, shoulders pointing forward. Locked in. Raise the knee as high as you can possibly go without arching the back. Open it up. Rotate. Back down. Come back. Open it up. Nice and high. Towards your midline. Back down. Knee up. All right. Everything's engaged here. My arms are strong. I'm staying nice and tight and compressed. I'm only trying to isolate that right hip. So I open it up, rotate it back and down, donkey kick back, soccer kick, open up towards the midline and back down. All right. So that's where we'll end this class, this Kinstretch class. I hope you enjoyed some of the movements that we went over. Like I said, this is very surface level, so we're just beginning to learn about our bodies, become more self-aware, kind of know how to contract certain parts of our body, make the body do what we want it to do. With that being said, it's going to help improve many aspects of your joint health because we're targeting specific tissues the way that we want to. So I hope you enjoyed the class. I'll be coming away with other videos, and so just don't forget to like, follow, share. I would appreciate it. And any comments or questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.